Okay, so this is episode 3 of my game building series. This week I didn't really do that much, but I did rework a whole bunch of things I had already made. So I'll show you now. Give me a second. If I can actually find what it is. Shut up, Java. Yeah, OBJ block. Okay, perfect. So basically, I reworked the OBJ block is the unscrewing boxes, by the way. I reworked it so instead of the screw being a separate object, the block itself generates all the screws itself, and it draws them and it checks for collision on its own. And that's a good thing, because before, when I added multiple boxes into this really long room that I made, there'd be this weird offset every time I would try to unscrew a screw. Like, hold on, let me run the game. Like, if I tried to unscrew this box right here, I have to unscrew like over here. Like, I have to click and hold over here to actually unscrew it. But I changed it, so now the box does all of it itself. And I changed the function, so now it uses like point in rectangle, which I don't know if this is over here. Yeah, point in rectangle, which is basically just like a manual version of the old function that I was doing, which is like place meeting or instance place or whatever. So it works, even though it took a lot of tweaking. Now the block draws its sprites and it rotates the sprites on its own, and it checks for collision on its own, instead of talking through this other object, this unused one. It doesn't get used anymore, and this one kind of sucked, to be honest, so that's good. Another thing I added this new object. It's a switch. If I run the game, I can show you. Oh, the biggest thing, yeah, well, let me show this switch first, and I'll tell you about the biggest thing that you can already see. A switch, it's a switch, you can hit it, and it opens the door. And I have the other version of the switch, which should be over here. It's like a button where you have to hold it down in order to actually get the thing. I added doors, I added buttons. Conveyor belts already existed, but I'm pretty sure I added a sprite for the conveyor belts, because I made all these changes like last Sunday and I don't even remember half of them. Yeah, so these are conveyor belts. I was testing really long slopes up there. So this is a really long level. Let me just run to the end of it really quickly. I made this little box conveyor thing that was made to test multiple things. First of them, can boxes trigger buttons? The answer is they can. I made it so they could. So let me just, the boxes can also be moved by the conveyor belt, so I think that's pretty cool. And now that I have that big door open, I can unscrew this box. It'll go on the conveyor belt, and yeah, it moves kind of slowly. There is this weird bug that I'm gonna learn how to fix later. Is I kind of get stuck like this. Don't know how to fix that. I can figure that out later. And yes, the biggest thing is this very nice parallax background that I did. I had it originally parallaxing both horizontally and vertically, but the vertical just it didn't really work. I mean, it technically did work, but it would always start like halfway up the screen, and I couldn't figure out how to fix that. But yeah, these moving platforms still work, semi-solids still work, boxes are reworked, and they work perfectly now. I actually had a thing that showed the hitbox of the boxes. These are just labels, I don't know why they're there. And yeah, so a little bit of progress made. Oops. Yeah, I made it so when you get crushed, it just teleports you to the beginning, because I got some stuff messed up with that. Anyway. Yeah, so I think some progress was made. Ooh, another thing I want to show you is look at these boxes. Well, let me unscrew them all. Give me a second. Yeah, so I unscrewed these other two boxes, and watch this. That's pretty satisfying, right? They all kind of fall. You can also stretch the boxes to whatever size you want, because it dynamically draws the screws in the corners every time. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I showed you these really long slopes. They work. Like, some progress was made. I do like the background, even though it is kind of basic. I like it. So I don't care what you say. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this background as like a main background in the actual game, if it ever comes out. Yeah, so unscrewing boxes, really fun to do now. and they can activate buttons. I want to add like a propeller that blows the boxes around. But yeah, and probably not a new episode next week because I'm busy and Subnautica 2 is out, so I want to play that. My door just closed on its own. That's not weird at all. Yeah, so I really like how it's coming together. I'm gonna add like maybe I'll add like a block pushing ability where you can like push the boxes around, but that's complicated like everything else in this game. So I'll figure out how to do that. Yeah, so I'm happy with how this is turning out. I also want to add a menu system, pause system, but I don't want to use a tutorial for that because the tutorial that I followed last time, like from one of my older games that never got released and will never see the light of day, its menu looked really bad, so I'm gonna make it on my own. And I might make a video explaining on how I'm gonna do it, but it's pretty similar to the tutorial. But yeah, so game looks pretty good, I would say. Look at all this, look at this big level. It's like 4,000 pixels wide. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I will maybe see you guys in 2 weeks, maybe next week, I have no idea.